Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is, yep, you guessed it, Liaquat Zaman, and this is another lesson of Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe. And if you haven't given a thumbs up or a like or hit the bell, hit it now. Right? Or a thumbs down even. Right? And comment as well. Right? So in today's lesson, I want you guys to comment as well. So at least I know how many people are benefiting from these videos. And motivate me to continue making more videos as well, inshallah. And hopefully after I do a certain amount of Qudoori, inshallah, I hope to start a more advanced book like Hidayah or something like that. Anyway, right, let's continue with this then today. So wal mustahadatu, you guys should know what this means by now, so I'm not going to put that up. Salis al-bawl. Salis means some intermittent, like continuously one after the other, and bawl means urine. So salis al-bawl means someone who suffers from illness where they can't hold their urine and it keeps dripping out. Al-ru'af, it's a nosebleed, specifically a nosebleed is called ru'af. And da'im means continuous, so some people have a continuous nosebleed, blood keeps coming out, it's not stopping. Jarh is a wound. La yarqa is raqa'a yarqa'u. Raqa'a yarqa'u, to stop, okay, or to heal. So when a wound stops, it congeals and it stops, you call it la raqa'a. So la yarqa, it means it doesn't heal. Yatawadda'una, right, it means to do wudu. لوقت كل صلاة يصلون بذلك الوضوء في الوقت ما شاء. شاء is from شاء يشاء, it means to will something. Alright, so and batala yabtulu, it means to nullify. Alright, so nullify. Isti'naf, it means to start fresh. Ista'nafa yasta'nifu, to restart. And salat ukhra means other salat. Right, tarkeeb now. So by now you guys should be able to translate this yourselves now. And tarkeeb is just there maybe just for barakah or something, just to kind of give you guys a practice in applying your nahu. In reality, we don't really need to go through tarkeeb in this, and I'm just thinking to myself, what do you guys think? Maybe after a few lessons I'll stop doing tarkeeb and I'll just translate and just explain the masala. So you guys let me know. And otherwise, if I don't get many people that are interested in the tarkeeb, then I'll just leave the tarkeeb, because I think by now so many lessons have passed. I think tarkeeb now is getting a bit over the top now. Yeah, you don't need to do tarkeeb of everything. Anyway, mustahadatu is ma'tuf alayhi, waw is ataf, man is mawsool, bihi is jar majroor. Let me make this a bit bigger. I think it's a bit small now, yeah. Right. Salis is mudaf, and bawl is mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf plus the mudaf ilayhi put together become mubtada muakhar, and bihi becomes khabar muqaddam, muta'alliq to thabitun. That becomes the sila, mawsool sila put together becomes the ma'tuf al-awwal, the first ma'tuf. Right, so man bihi salis al-bawl, first ma'tuf. Waw is ataf, ru'af is mawsoof, da'im is sifa. Sifa mawsoof put together becomes the ma'tuf, second. And jurh or jarh is ataf, is you can make it mubdal minhu or you can make it mawsoof. Alladhi is the mawsool, la is nafi, yarqa fi al-fa'il, and all that becomes a sila. Sila plus the mawsool put together becomes the sifa of jarh. Okay, so all that put together becomes ma'tuf thalith, the third ma'tuf. So it's three ma'tufs here. All of them put together now become the mubtada, and the rest of the sentence yatawadda'una until the end is going to become the khabar. Yatawadda'una is fi'l plus fa'il, lam is jar, waqt is mudaf, kulli is mudaf ilayhi, and then that's mudaf, and then salat is mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf ilayhi becomes the majroor of lam. Waw is ataf, yusalluna is fi'l plus fa'il, bidhalika is jar, dhalika is mubdal minhu, al-wudu'i, this is the badal. Alright, so whenever you have ism ishara and after it you have a definite word now with an alif lam, then you're going to treat that as the badal, or sifa as well. Majroor, fi is jar, al-waqt is majroor, Ma is mawsool, and then sha'u and al-fara'id wal nawafil, all that becomes the sila. Sha'u is fi'l plus the fa'il, min is jar, al-fara'id is majroor, waw is ataf, nawafil is ma'tuf. Ma'tuf plus the ma'tuf alayh all becomes the majroor, and then all of that becomes the sila. And that's it, basically that becomes the maf'ul bihi of yusallun. فإذا is shart and dharf, kharaja is fi'l, al-waqtu is the fa'il, alright, that's a shart, batala is fi'l, wudu'uhu mudaf, mudaf ilay becomes the fa'il of batala, waw is ataf, kana is fi'l naqis, alayhim is jar majroor, and then isti'naf, this becomes mudaf, and wudu becomes the mudaf ilayhi, mudaf ilayhi put together becomes ism of kana, and لصلاة أخرى jar, and موصوف صفة becomes majroor. Okay, موصوف صفة. There you have it. Now by now you guys should be able to translate this. Yeah, shouldn't have any problem. I've given you the difficult words as well. So let's have a go. What does this masala, what is the author saying over here? So remember we were talking about a woman who has dysfunctional bleeding, continuous bleeding, the mustahada basically. So now it's talking about other people who are in the same category as her. Meaning, if there's a woman who suffers from dysfunctional bleeding, how does she perform her salats? Because you have to remember, you know, if she is praying her salat, then she's got blood coming out, and if blood's coming out, that means wudu breaks. And if wudu breaks, you can't pray your salat. So it's like you got a cycle. So there's three people who are in her ruling as well. Right, so for example, like the person who has the urine problem, intermittent urine, salis al-bawl, the person who has the continuous nosebleed, the person who has a wound which doesn't stop, giving off pus or blood. Now all these people, if you remember, we talked about the seven types of things that break your wudu. Now all these fall under that. Right, so this would fall under for anyone who is suffering from something that continuously breaks your wudu. It's not mentioned it here, but you can imagine, for example, like someone who has flatulence problem, continuous flatulence, or someone who has, let's say, vomiting problem. I mean, I don't know if that's really an issue. People do continuously vomit. And what else is there? Put in the comments, what other problems do you think people can suffer out there, which would result in one of the seven things of wudu breaking? All right, so these people, technically, these people can't pray salat because they can't hold their wudu, because you have to have wudu for salat. Yeah, so in this case, what do the people do? So here is a ruling. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned a ruling. So with this kind of ruling, we call it a legal ruling. It's like a legal special ruling for these people. This is because the deen is easy. Allah does not burden someone in the religion more than they can bear. So therefore, if there's a person, let's say Zohar starts at 12 and it finishes at 3. This person, right, they can't hold their wudu, can they? So what they do basically is that as soon as they do their wudu, that wudu will last all the way until the next salat starts. Right, so all these people, that's called a legal wudu. It's not a real wudu, because a real wudu, you can't have one of the seven things that break your wudu occurring. So this is called a legal wudu because the lawgiver, Allah and the Messenger ﷺ, have allowed this. So because they've allowed this, we say it's a legal ruling. Now all things in Islam obviously are legal from the lawgiver, but this one is like a special case. So we call it hukmi, legal ruling. So this is basically the ruling for them. They perform their wudu, and their wudu is considered to be legally intact until the next salat starts. So let's just mark it off on this clock here. So let's say they do the wudu at this time, it will last all the way till 3 o'clock. Let's say they do their wudu at this time, it will last all the way until Maghrib starts. Let's say they do their wudu when Maghrib starts, it will last all the way until Isha starts. And let's say they do their wudu when Isha starts, it will last all the way until Fajr, and so forth. Yeah, so you have to do the wudu after the time starts. You have to do the wudu, because when the next time salat time comes, the wudu is going to break. Right? So this is the kind of solution that the Sharia has come out with for them. Right? So these people are legally excused, Basically, they're excused from that particular like medical issue they have. They're excused from the normal ruling that other people have to, consider. Right. So let me just mark it here in a different color. Let me just use over here green. Okay. Right. So let me just put it here. So this is where the wudu it expires now. It automatically expires, like the lawgiver, even if they haven't done anything, it expires because of this situation. Because the wudu was only supposed to last for that particular salat time. So that's the ruling basically of these people. Now let's read the text then. Now one thing to remember here is this. Look, very important to remember. If a person is suffering from one medical issue, that exempts them from that, out of the 7 things, that one particular scenario. They're not exempted from something else. So for example, like let's say there's a woman who suffers from dysfunctional bleeding. Then if she does wudu at 12 o'clock, her wudu is going to last till when? Until 3 o'clock, isn't it? But if she goes toilet and urinates now, then her wudu breaks, right? Because her wudu has broken because of something else. Does that make sense? So that legal solution, that legal ruling only applies to that specific scenario that they're suffering. That's all. Anything else occurs from the 7 things, khalas, wudu breaks. So that's a very important thing to remember as well. Anyway, right, so wal mustahadatu, a mustahada woman bihi salasul bawl, and a person suffering from intermittent urine, wal ru'af da'im, and nose bleeding, wal jarh alladhi la yarqa, and the wound which doesn't heal, yatawadda'una, they perform wudu li waqti kulli salatin, for the time of every salat, wa yusalluna, and they pray bidhalika wudu, with that wudu, fil waqti, within the salat time, like within zuhr time, within asr time, or within maghrib time, ma sha'u, whatever they will, whatever they wish, min al-fara'id, of the fard salats and nafil salats. They can pray anything they want. Okay. Now, فَإِذَا خَرَجَ الْوَقْتُ, if the salat time expires, like salat expired, new salat time has come, بَطَلَ وُضُوءُهُمْ, their wudu breaks, nullifies. Right, so they got to do a fresh wudu now, because it was only legally allowed for that particular time. وَكَانَ عَلَيْهِمْ إِسْتِئْنَافُ الْوُضُوءِ لِصَلَاةٍ أُخْرَى, and it's necessary for them to do the wudu, a fresh wudu, for the other salat now. Right, so they can't use the zuhr wudu, they can't use it for asr, or the asr wudu, they can't use it for maghrib wudu, they can't use it for isha, and so forth. I think you got the idea now. Now let's say this guy I've drawn here, he has a hand that's bleeding now, continuously, non-stop. He's put a bandage on there as well, and it keeps on bleeding. Right, so what's the ruling for this person? So the same thing applies to this person, even though he's not mentioned under the 4 people, but because like we said, the idea in this masala is that your wudu continuously breaks and you don't have enough time to do wudu, pray salat, without that medical issue being with you. Now if you do have enough time, like let's say you have a cut and you have enough time to do wudu and pray salat, you have to do wudu and you have to pray salat, and then as soon as it starts leaking again, your wudu breaks straight away. Right, so this is only for those people who can't hold their wudu for the duration of performing wudu and salat without it coming out. Okay, right, and if there's any other sort of people who are, let's say, suffering this, like I said earlier on, put in the comments any sort of other scenario out there that people might have. You can mention there as well. And there was a kind of scenario that I remember coming across, which there was a guy who had a problem in his rectal area, where every time he used to go toilet to defecate, his rectum would actually come out, and then it would take him several hours for it to slowly, retract and go back in again. So that would, mean that the area would continuously. Now the thing to remember is, like we're going to be mentioning, is that next time maybe, is that these people, let's say you have a continuous blood coming out or urine coming out and it's going into your underwear. So what's the ruling of the underwear then? Because, does that mean that the underwear is impure? Because, okay, your wudu will last until asr, let's say, but your underwear, so that's also exempted. Although it's not mentioned here, that's also exempted. Likewise, if you have a cut and it's bleeding, you don't have to keep changing your clothes. You don't have to keep changing your underwear. It's fine. You can carry on. Right? Yes, obviously, it's recommended that, you don't walk around with all blood all over your clothes and all that. And, regularly try to change your clothes maybe daily or whatever, or your underwear at least. But that's basically the ruling. So you're even exempted of that impurity on your clothes as well. Okay, so this person, what do? They perform wudu, and their wudu is valid until the next salat starts. Alright, or until the salat expires. And that's it basically. So I hope you guys have understood this and benefit from this. This person actually, or this category of people, is called the Madhur. I'll write this down. Madhur, udhr, person who has an excuse, genuine excuse. Right, so they fall under this, and you might have heard this word, people using it. They'll probably say things like, this guy's a Madhur, I'm a Madhur. So that's what they basically mean. It means someone who has a legal issue, an issue which legally their wudu will last. So have a go at these questions now. Check these out. MashaAllah, some of you guys, and last lesson you guys answered all the questions, alhamdulillah, and that inspires me as well. So have a go at trying to answer these as well, see if you can get it. And thank you very much, my patrons, for all your support. Jazakumullah khair. You guys are wonderful people. May Allah reward you immensely. I make so much dua for you guys. And any of you guys want to become patrons as well, check out the link in the description. By you becoming patrons, whatever you support me with, even if it's for a month, if it's for 2 months or 3 months, alhamdulillah, I appreciate all of that. And you also get access to private videos that I don't put up publicly, right? So there's about 5 or 6, I think 4 or 5 courses that privately that others won't get access to, but patrons do get access, so you can check that out as well. And jazakumullah khair, and next time inshallah I will see you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you very much guys for watching this video, and again thank you to all my patrons as well for all your support. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah reward you immensely. If you guys want to become a patron, then links in the description below. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.